Shalom, shalom from Israel, where I reside in beautiful Ma'ale Adumim. And this week we will be reading Parshat Matot. So, just to recap a little bit, the nation is about to enter into the promised land, and they had just finished battle with Midian, where they were very successful in killing off the people, and they gained a lot of spoils from this war. And specifically, the tribe of Rueben and Gad gained for themselves abundant livestock. So they went to Moshe and they requested of Moshe that they should be able to stay on this side of the Jordan and not cross over to Israel and keep that land for inheritance because it's very good for livestock and they have a lot of livestock. To which Moshe incredulously answered, are you serious? Are you going to stay here, sitting pretty with your livestock on this side of the Jordan while your brothers are going to go in to the land and have to do battle upon battle? And you're going to just stay there. You're going to dishearten the people. You're just like the generation before that died out and they died out. Why? Because of this sin. They had this sin of the spies, the 10 uh, men, the leaders that went in to check out the land and came back with a report that totally disheartened the people based on their commentary and their negative input. And they didn't want to go in the land because of the spies. And because of that sin, they had to die out. Now, if you don't go in, you're going to cause the people to be disheartened and you're going to end up killing out that nation too. And the whole plan's going to go to pot. No one's going to be going into the land. To which they answered him, they said, pens we will build for our livestock, homes we will build for our children, and we will go in with our brethren and we will fight every war until all the tribes have achieved their inheritance, had gained their inheritance, and not until then will we return to the other side of the Jordan, back to our livestock and kids. And then Moshe, but at the end of that sentence, they said that, for we shall not inherit with them across the Jordan and beyond, for our inheritance has come to us on the east bank of the Jordan. So Moshe hadn't even said yes yet, but they said, okay, we'll fight like you want us to fight, but we're not going over. This is our inheritance. So now they're getting a little bit gutsy to really challenge Moshe and say, first they were like, if we find favor in your eyes, can we stay here? And now they're like, well, we're not going to live there. We're living here. This is our inheritance. We fought this battle. We won this land. We're keeping it basically. But so Moshe sees that they're really adamant about keeping this land. And so he wants to work with them. He doesn't want things to get out of hand. So he says to them, okay, listen, if you promise to do this and to fight with your brothers, and then he rearranges their values because first they put their livestock, which is in essence in the olden days, the livestock is equivalent to money and possessions and valuables, all materialistic goods. That's the equivalent, which they had put first before anything. So he rearranges their values. He puts their children first. He said, first build homes for your children, then build the pens for your livestock. And if you will do this, like you said, fight for them, then you can do this. But you better keep your promise. It talks about neders, which we had discussed previously, the importance of keeping your word. Talks about in the parsha, when you make a neder, when you make a promise, you must keep it, the value of that and how crucial that is. And so they agree to it. And the interesting thing is that after they finally make this, they have these negotiations and there's an agreement about how to go about it. Moshe throws in, he says to the tribe that who was going to be Reuven, Gad, and Chatzi Shevet Menashe. Where did half of the tribe of Menashe? Half of the tribe of Menashe did not go along with them and make a request. You don't see them making a request or in any of the negotiations, but only after all the negotiations are done and there's an agreement. Moshe says, okay, you're going with half the tribe of Menashe. And then this is a beautiful commentary. The grandson of the Baal Shem Tov, called this commentary, Degel Machane Ephraim, which I found in the Stone Chumash quotes it. It says that why half of the tribe of Menashe? Because he assured the eastern part of Menashe would maintain close contact with their family to the west, and this closeness would have a beneficial effect on the tribes of Gad and Rueben as well. Now, I want to connect this to what I spoke about last week with the Bnot Slavchad, because the Bnot Slavchad, what they did uh, was when they were asking for the land in Israel, really showed, as I spoke about, you can check out my video last week, about their allegiance to their father, to perpetuate their father's name. They said, give us this inheritance amongst our brothers. They mentioned Achenu, they want to be one of the brothers, want one with their tribe, to have the land, to perpetuate the father's name. And they really showed this loyalty and allegiance to family, and to being, first perpetuating the father's name, then being part of the tribe of Menashe, and then being in the land of Israel itself. And that I said, it discussed the lineage of the daughters of Slavchad, and it traced them all the way back to Menashe ben Yosef. And I spoke about how Yosef and his son Menashe, how family was of vital importance to them. And you can go back, and I'm not going to recap all of that, but that was something that they've displayed throughout all their actions, in the stories throughout the Torah. And that this is something that was passed on to Bnot Slavchad. Now, the tribe of Menashe had that quality, that family was very important. And Rueben and Gad were showing that they were willing to separate from the rest of their bigger family of Am Yisrael, of the nation of Israel. And Moshe knew that if he took Menashe, this tribe, that family is of vital importance, and he split them in half, they would be going back and forth, and they would be talking about family, and they would be such a good example to the other two tribes of the importance of being connected, with your family and the outer circles, and that they would learn a valuable lesson, and that going back and forth would keep them connected to the rest of the tribes, even after the wars. And that's what Moshe wanted, for all of the nation of Israel to stay forever connected. And I think that's a really beautiful concept that we can see throughout the Torah, of how important, you start, of course, with your own nuclear family, and you work outward, but that it should all be important to you. And it should be part of your decision-making process, that you can either stay connected, or you can be providing something that's vital for the rest of your larger family, that whatever you're doing it for the betterment of your family, your extended family, and for the nation as a whole. So I think we need to keep that in mind with the actions that we take, with what we do, with where we live, and why we're doing it, and how we could help the rest of the nation, and never to forget or abandon our people. Shabbat Shalom.